Coach, before we get into questions and answers, would you just give us some thoughts on today's game?
Yeah, Wichita State did a phenomenal job. They were the hungrier team today. When you beat a team 2 times, you got to come in with way more energy because you know what you're going to face. And we did it for about a 7-8 minute span there out of the 40 minutes, and it costed us. You know, you can't keep coming back from being down. It has to start from the beginning of the game, and we got ourselves in a hole and couldn't dig out of it.
Thank you, Coach. We're going to take questions in here first. Please raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you. Right here in the front row.
Penny, when you look at the season in totality, I know you said that it was 2 different teams, pre-Caleb Mills injury, and then after that, but not being able to figure it out after that. When you look back at it all, what is the biggest reason that boils down to you?
Man, I wish I knew. I wish I knew, man. I don't really know. I mean, we lose Caleb, who was a leader and a vocal leader and a great defender, and definitely an extension of the coach on the floor. And we were definitely missing that in the second half of the season, so maybe that's the biggest reason.
Anyone else in here? Okay, let's go to the first row on the left.
This one's for Nae'Qwan or David. Was there a point during the game where it sunk in that it wasn't that, you know, you guys weren't going to be able to come back? Was there like a specific point where you realized that, and if so, you know, how'd that make you feel?
You got it.
We was down 6 with like 10 seconds left to go. So I guess that's when we knew we was going to come back.
Let's go here on the right.
Petty, you've evolved how you put rosters together, obviously, with the transfer portal more heavily this year than any other year. But when you look at how you're going to build this thing next year, what are the biggest learning lessons, and how might you change things up and how you put this roster together?
Well, we ended up getting a lot of guys late, and I love all those guys. We ended up getting them late, but my teams have always been built on defense. I didn't have a defensive team this year. Guys played hard, but we didn't have the guys that we've had. So that's what it boils down to. Memphis basketball is about defense, rebound, and block shots, the whole 9. It's not really about offense. We've used our defense to be our offense, and I veered away from that this year to get talent, and they were talented guys, very talented. Then you get a major injury to Caleb Mills. I mean, that hurts you. It's devastating. We're trying to regroup from that. Then every game becomes to be about offense instead of defense. We had our moments where we showed that we were really good in certain cases, but just like today, man, we came out like we had another game tomorrow. That's not Memphis basketball, and I take that on myself, and it just has to be. I'm a defensive-minded coach, and that's what I believe in. Your defense starts your offense, and that's what we've had for 5 years until this year. This is my best offensive team I've had, but the defensive side of the ball wasn't what I really wanted. I like to switch up defenses, pressure the ball more, what the fans are used to seeing. Didn't get a chance to do that this year.
Over there on the left in the front row.
Penny, today especially speaking of the defense, on the perimeter in particular, what was it that you wish you had done more of or wish you had done better?
Well, the game plan was set. Everything that they did, we knew exactly what they were doing. All we needed was to harden the effort into it. We know every game we've gone into, we've known what to do. I mean, obviously I wish we would have got stops. The pick and roll hurt us today. It's hurt us all season. We knew what they were going to do. We knew they were going to throw lobs. We still had lapses. The last play when they took them up 1 point, when they threw the lob to Ballard, we knew that play was coming. You just got to, I don't know, man. It's tough when you know exactly what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, when you see the set and you can't stop it.
Right in the middle here on the aisle.
Penny, you told us Monday that you told us that you think you've been doing a good job, but obviously this year was just not the result that you wanted, regardless of what happens from this point on, whether you make the NIT, or the CBI, or whatever it is. What do you think you could have done differently this year to maybe get a different result?
I don't try to shortchange myself because I take every loss as the head coach, but I work really hard. I really do. I'm working 20 hours a day to be really in tune and locked in. There's no coach that's going to outwork me. And I teach. I'm a teacher of the game. So, I mean, obviously, I'm a player's coach, so in some areas, I let some things slide because I played the game. It just has to be different for me next year. Obviously, this hurts because I wanted to do well for the team, for the school and the city. This does not sit well with me because it just wasn't a representation of who we should be. And just tough to watch after you've prepared and not be able to do anything about it, being over on the sideline. It just is what it is, man. I've taken all the losses all year. Again, what I would change, just the punishment of the things that were going on this year would change, and that's going to get better with me moving forward.
On the right here in the second row.
Coach, obviously almost a year to the day when you guys were sitting on the podium on a Sunday as champions. Historic. Now, on the other side of that, unfortunately today, what do you tell your seniors who won't be able to lace them up as a Tiger next year?
Yeah, just to learn from this year. It's going to get harder for them moving forward because now, you make those same mistakes, then you could get cut. You don't have another year, you don't have another game. So now everything that you need to be sharp in, you can't, it's not an option. It's mandatory for you to get those things down now. So, I told them that I love them, and if they need me, I got their backs. But harsh reality is right around the corner.
Right in the front here.
Penny, you said y'all came out today like y'all had another game tomorrow, like you just knew you had another game. With the season on the line, with everything at stake, how do you explain that? Like, what went wrong for y'all to come out flat like that?
You have to talk to the players. They probably can answer. I don't know. We were well prepared to play the game. You want to hear from them?
Sure.
He want to know how the start of the game. Why were we so flat? I don't have an answer.
I don't know.
Let's try up front.
David, looking ahead to next year, I know Penny said a couple weeks ago he was pretty optimistic about you coming back. You're obviously going to have professional opportunities. Is the door open for you to come back for another season here?
Yeah, everything is possible. That's all I can say. And I like Penny as a head coach, so we're gonna see.
Right here in the front.
Penny, if an NIT invitation is extended.
0. No, sir. I'm not accepting any invitations.
What's the thought process behind that?
Just a decision. I'm just making that right now. I'll talk to the administration, but I'm not looking to play no more NITs, man. I'm sorry. I'm not disrespecting NIT. It's been a tough season already. Mom been in and out of the hospital now with throat cancer, dealing with a whole lot, and just dealing with basketball at the same time. I know this is my job, but that's not my first option.
Chuck, we have anybody on Zoom?
We just have a couple quick.
Penny, you just talked about it's been a tough season on and off the court and dealing with things with family. Just how you've navigated this and tried to be the leader that you work to be every single day, knowing that there's bigger things than basketball obviously going on in your life.
Yeah, it's very difficult being the caretaker of my mother. I have no help until I leave town, so it's just me. And to deal with the basketball side of it as well has been very difficult, but I do know I have a job. And I've handled it really well.
And Penny, for you, when you look at this team, I know this is not the way that you want the season to end, and you just talked about not accepting an invitation to the NIT. Are there positives that you can build on from this season? Are there things that you feel like can help the foundation of next season?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, I am definitely a man on fire from this season. I've learned so much, and there are things that I can take from this season into next season and moving forward.
Thank you, Penny. My best to your mom.
Thank you.
Okay, last one on Zoom from Wes Pruitt, please.
This question is for David Jones and Nae'Qwan Tomlin. When you look at Penny Hardaway, I understand today's hard, but when you look at Coach Hardaway, what does he mean to you as a basketball player and as an individual?
Coach Penny means a lot. I mean, he's played the game. He's played at a high level. He's a Hall of Fame player. And so for him to be our head coach and for him to teach us the game, we should have did way more to, not only help him, but help the city of Memphis and help the school and just go out there and play harder.
All right, thank you, Coach.